Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order at Siberia. Let's continue on from where we last left off. So, we are doing pretty well, I would say. I don't think it was last episode. We've been improving our economy significantly. How much are you guys increasing by? 2, 4.5. So, the rate that they've been improving has gone down a little bit. But that's not so bad. I mean, poverty rate is still bad, but up, you know. I mean, there's what? There's 4 levels ahead of us. 0% poverty rate. I mean, that's the dream. But right now, we have finished every one of our national focuses. We don't really have any more national focuses we can do. We're now getting 1.3 political power per month, and we're 1 year away from being able to conquer our territories in the east, which would be really nice for us. I'm still a little bit surprised that there were like just a month short of, or not a month, a year short of focuses. Matei overthrown by Arab administrators. Are you Matei? I don't remember which one Matei is, but that's okay. So, what do we need to do for the next year? Well, we need to start preparing stuff. I mean, we're getting 1.53 political power per month. We're no longer researching anything. So you can probably get a lot of these things done, which would be really nice for us. Of course, we could theoretically cheat and just click this button, like make it so we can click this button now. But I feel like that's not really in our best interest. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to resume this episode either next year, 1969, or whenever we get a little text pop up. So there's gonna be, this one's gonna have a little bit more editing than I usually do for my channel, mostly because there's no reason for me to sit here for an entire year while maybe nothing happens. So we'll stick around. We'll see what happens next. Hello, welcome back. It is Christmas Day. So nothing really is happening. We're doing, some researches, letting my political power build up. It is at 420, which is quite high. But we need all this political power for when we want to start coring all of this in the future. The only thing that's really happened is, one, England has unified the entire peninsula underneath the British here. And two, the Iberian Civil War has begun. So we got all these guys against each other. There's a big war happening. And we'll kind of see who comes out on top in the future. The Spanish government, I'm going to say, is probably the one who's most likely just to get completely killed. We got Catalonia over here. We got the Basque Republic. Yeah, unsurprisingly, it looks like the federal government has completely collapsed. The Federalists are now in charge of Spain. We'll kind of see what they end up doing. They might end up unifying the entire peninsula. We'll kind of see. Last time, what was the problem? Last time there wasn't like the casus belli required for that kind of stuff to happen. But it is January, and you know what that means? It's time for us to prepare for war. At some point. The Grand Showdown. The Siberian Free Territory has overcome its obstacles and conquered all other nations in its way, either through peaceful unification, which did not happen at all, or forceful war. Now it stands on the precipice. The vast territories of Russia are expansive, and whilst the Siberian Free Territory controls a significant portion of it, there's still much more to conquer. We must begin to prepare for a war that will challenge our military unlike all the other wars that have come before us. Let us see who will stand tall in the end. Unfortunately, going by the recent actions, it seems like the hopes and peace with the Far Eastern... Yeah, no, like they're declaring war against us as well. That's fine. Let's not worry about that. We should get some decisions. It's actually right here. Second Siberian War. We need to get ourselves up to 75% preparedness. So, for us to do that, we want to probably choose whatever's the best one here. 5 military factories for free. We have 100 command power, so we should be able to get this done relatively quickly. So that's going to be 15%. Followed by... You're 150,000 manpower. Good. So we're at 30% now. Don't want you. I mean, the airbase is actually not bad. So go from 30 to 50 to 70. I think we need one more point here. So we're probably like... Yeah, okay. So after that... We can get 100 political power, which I really don't think we really need. We're going to go for the air bases. And once all of these are finished, we will begin our invasion. The far eastern Soviet Socialist Republic has absolutely no idea what's coming their way. They are completely helpless. I will deploy 1 unit. No, I will not. I'll take one of you guys off this front to move you into Blue Army. Because Omsk, what is their plan? I don't know. But I do believe that everybody now, especially like these guys over here, probably the exact same ability that we just did, which is preparing for the war. We should be the first ones to attack. I'd be surprised if we weren't, because we got all these things done as fast as possible. So I think you are going to be the one that's taking the longest. So 111 days, which will be in about 3.5 months. So around April-ish, we'll be able to attack. Getting 150,000 men right away would be nice. So right now we're $11 billion in debt. We're making $8.3 billion a year. We are spending 10.9. So we're still about the same amount of loss every year. But I'm still not too concerned about that. It's like, you guys have 27 divisions. So I think, let me see, 5, 8, 10. So we have 17 divisions right here. So right now it's 17 to 17. That's assuming Omsk probably has some troops here. And probably also some troops along the other borders with Kazakhstan and with the Russian Salvation Reconstruction Committee. Because after that, I think the next option for us, I believe it's like 1971 is when the next level of reunification begins, which I think is the last one. I might be wrong on that. But we have 461 political power. Do we want to spend on something a little bit earlier? Barry Goldwater's been allowed to grade President of the United States. Who's Goldwater? Goldwater is the Democrats. Okay, so the Democrats have won. Oh, the Democrats have won their election. So Wallace is being kicked out. Democrats are put back in, which is completely okay. We will go for the engineer stuff attack though. Plus 50%, quite good. In 20, like, is there? Like, we can choose a lot of options with almost 500 political power. I want to save it all for cores. We get more population. You know what? Let's go for like the very expensive ones that we couldn't really get too much of before. Agriculture, poverty rate. Yeah, let's do these ones. I think that seems like an okay place for us to start. We won't do any of the other stuff for now though. Okay, looks like Derwanger's brigade has finally died. It actually took them... They've been at war for like 3 years, haven't they? It really feels like they've been fighting for quite a bit. So it looks like the Spanish Republic is going to probably fall to the Fangolist. Will they do anything after that, though? I'm not too sure. Like, I don't know if they can actually unify the entire peninsula or not. So, I mean, the Rift Republic's looking pretty good. They might end up winning their war. And Germany, what is your plan? You're doing stuff with Scandinavia, Northern Fortress, free Ukraine. But will you attack? Will you attack the Italians? Will you attack the Americans for a final confrontation that'll probably end with the world getting nuked? It's entirely possible. Which does worry me a little bit, of course. Okay, you've declared war on... No, why would you declare war on them? That seems a little bit surprising, because, yeah, you just die immediately. So, but yeah, these guys are now in their own little faction, hanging out, doing their own thing. Probably are not long for this world, but that's okay. So how many more days do we have until the war? This is the wrong option. We want to look at the one further up towards the north. So we still got about 2 more months until we're ready to go. We got 5 more military factories. Which I think we want to probably just crank out more tanks, honestly. Seems like a pretty good option for us. Actually, how many trucks do we have? 1,315. You know, that's pretty good. And with all of our manpower as well, let's train up 3 more tank divisions. I think that's okay. So you actually have all the equipment you need right away. Which is really, really nice. So we have 10,000 anti-tank rifles. We got 53,000 guns. We have a ton of everything. And did our extra airports finish? Yes, they have. So we're going to crank you up to, let's say 400, and then we'll have 200 early fighters. You will all fly into this area. I mean, we don't really need the fighters. They're just kind of nice to haves. And of course over here, hey, guess what? We're going to deploy everything else that we have. Crank you both up to 200. It seems acceptable. And you will also fly over here, doing everything you possibly can. Yeah, no, that looks good. So we have over 1,000 planes at this point. We have 2,000 aircraft. Which is, I mean, that's pretty impressive. It's more than the Canadians have. It's more than the British have. It's more than the Italians probably have. So our little free air territory, we know how to fly. We got that going for us. We love aircrafts. And who doesn't? Planes, they go vroom in the sky. Like birds. Isn't that neat? Got all of everything that we possibly would want. I don't know how much our air superiority is really going to affect things. I mean, probably a decent amount. Can I see my close air support? You can't. You have to have 1,000 space here. You know what? You go over here then. Because, I mean, going to war with Omsk, one, it is scary, but I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be happening soon. Like, that's... I think Omsk is the next step after Siberia. And Siberia will be ready in... We're at 60% now. 75 days. I mean, no matter what, nothing's going to be as fast as we need it to be. I mean, we could make... I mean, could we get all these done? I mean, we don't... Like, the land forts... We don't really need them. And it's going to be another 30 days until we're at war with you. War on the horizon. We'll see if they declare war on us first. Like, it's entirely possible. A conflict of interest. Shot her around the world. Spanov tore the jacket off himself. It was too damn hot in this room. Said in Salem, said in Siberia. He removed his cap from his head, smoothing his few remaining hairs over. He observed himself in the mirror adjacent to the entrance of Dhaka. He grabbed at the fat on his fat, pulled at it. He dropped his shoulders. He was getting too old for this. How long had he been fighting? How long had he been acting? How long was he going to wait? The general shook the thoughts out of his head. It was a long game worth playing. Nobody who had ever rushed into power stayed in. As he walked to his bathroom to be let out a groan, his knees were giving out on him. I'm just trying to see. Let me just see. We're still at 58-33, so we shouldn't be getting cooed, I think. The general shook his head. Nobody rushed power. Need to get out. Yada, yada, yada. Ivan turned on the faucet, still hung up on the conundrum that had plagued him for years. On the other hand, those who had waited for power did not get long to enjoy it. Spenov cupped the cool water in his hands and brought it to his face. 3 knocks came to the door. Spenov sighed, letting his head lean against the wall. What could it be now, begrudgingly? Spenov returned to the door and answered it. For him stood exactly what he had pictured, a scruffy kid. Was it so much to ask for just for people to act like people? What do you need? Good evening, Commandant Glashkanov. I apologize for my tardiness. I just enlisted. I came out from the east, still to get myself acquainted. Spenov raised his eyebrow to the man. He knew naively. You could see it from kilometers away. Tasted in the air. He loved it. The recruit let out a nervous chuckle to fill the awkward silence. I had a message from you from Companion Valkanev. He told me to tell you he would have radioed in himself, but their only one broke in the middle of their expedition. He had orders to go to Tarsk, but they had orders to go to Lesobrisk. That's what I told Valtiv. Spanov interjected. I am tired. It's late. You have your orders. Run along now. Spanov quickly slammed the door on the shoulder's face. Well, he thought maybe he would all pay off in the end. Get event the shot heard around the world. Stability goes down. Political power goes down by 100. What shot? What's happening? Because this worries me a little bit. That there might be a coup in the free territory. And I hope that doesn't happen. Could lose another 10% stability. Fantastic. The shot heard around the world. I trust you retrieved the information I requested. Marco just returned from Norb's risk, from civilization, finally back to the cold and somber wilderness. He was honored to be chosen to serve under command of Valtiv. Even with the frozen huts in the far east, he had heard the stories. Valtiv was uncompromising but passionate. Not just bitter like the assholes where he came from. He fought for what he believed in. That was something Marco could look up to in a commander. He was not only willing but eager to lay down his life for Valtiv, for his commune. God, it felt so good just to have a purpose. Marco did not see combat. However. He saw his companion set up tents as he climbed into the truck. He had never met companion Galskov, but his name was unavoidable. When Dmitri gave him the address of the commander in the Black Army, he felt giddy to meet companion Galskov, but found him irritable. Of course, companion Valtiv. We had orders from companion Galskov to go straight to Lebeskrisk. Valtiv frowned to his brow. Seriously? That's what he said? Well then. Svetnov looked at the goggles, took the goggles from his forehead and pulled them down over his face. Let's go. Arriving in the commune of Lebeskrisk, Marco could immediately sense something was amiss. The way people poured out of their houses, standing outside and just staring. Valtiv was visibly uncomfortable. He spoke out from one of the members of the commune, something Marco couldn't hear. He tried to claw his way to the front of the pack to stand next to companion Valtiv. Why had he sent so many people? By the time he reached for his commander, they were shouting. Whomever Valtiv was speaking to had drawn his weapon. The people in the front lawns holstered weapons of all kinds, shotguns, rocks, bottles, whatever. Valtiv began to back away, but the crowd was too rowdy. Someone in the crowd of Black Army soldiers or from the commune fired. Marco knew he had to act and charge forward, slamming Valtiv to the ground. It all falls down. So we're losing another 10% stability. Not great. The joys of fine dining. The room seemed as if it were alive. Men threw their hands back in laughter, in hysterics at jokes that only friends would understand. Candles adorned the shelves of the walls, giving the room a golden glow. Sat nestled awkwardly between the antiques and the knickknacks to occupy the space of the other 364 days of the year. The beating heart of the room was found in the center. A wall of man surrounded him, hanging on to his every word. Yuri Glaskov's booming voice was unmistakable. So I had Kalishnikov standing beside me. Reeks like dead deer and alcohol. I'm just trying not to puke up the morning's food. Although it would have looked the same as it did as when I ate it when it came out. Am I right? You know, you've seen that stuff. Anyway, he's trying to tell me. He says, Yuri, I think I hit a deer on the way here. I turn to him and say, keep in mind, he stinks like death itself. I say, oh no, that was just Mashuko wandering out of the mental facility again. The table exploded with laughter, save for the man at the head of the table, whose mind was fixated on the drink before him. Suddenly the door of the tavern threw themselves open. Companions, where is Yuri? Glasgow pushed his chair back and stood. His meter quickly shifted to Jovial serious. What is it? I am here. I don't know. I just was out hunting out northward, you know. I saw the Black Army. They were just all in a massive formation in the city square. I didn't think much of it and continued on my way, but I heard shots and men started falling. As the exhausted man struggled to catch his breath, Yuri turned to his ally Svetnov, hoping for solidarity, but found the man unbothered, smiling as he sipped his drink. You were saying, Yuri? So we'll kind of see what's happening here. How many days until the war begins? 41 days. Okay, so shit's going down, which is not great. But I think we... I'm trying... I don't know. I think we killed the commander of the Black Army, which seems like that could have some repercussions in the future, depending on how things go. Which is not great. But in 33 days, we'll go to war with Eastern Soviet Social Republic. Did they end up coring all their stuff? By this point, they have to, right? Yeah. It's a bit of a shame. How many troops do they have? 17 to 23. I'm going to risk it a little bit. I'm going to take Red Army off their front for now and put them here. And their job is going to march their way this way. Do they have... I mean, supplies looks pretty okay. I'm still worried about Omsk, but I don't think Omsk can actually do anything against us right now. I think. I'm, like, relatively confident. We do have an extra research slot. The 1970 artillery, honestly, we're going to research that. I mean, it is 1969. We're pretty close to 1970 regardless. So I'm actually, with it being so close to 1970, a lot more stuff is going to become unlocked for us, which is nice. Gonna shrink Blue Army down there. Red Army will then be in that position, which seems okay. I don't know what this attack plan for Red Army is. It's a little bit strange, but, you know, if it works, it works. I'm not going to worry about it too much. 22 days. 22 days. And, I mean, the Red Army basically has nobody on their border, which makes our life pretty easy. And it looks like Morocco... The Rif Republic has won. King of Morocco is going to get killed pretty soon. You will be winning your war in just a moment. And Germany's putting people to work. We'll see how that kind of ends up playing. You guys have a non-aggression pact with Germany. Finland might end up joining up with the German faction. Is it just called the New Order? The Unity Pact? They might end up joining as like a an ally of theirs. I wouldn't be too surprised by that happening. Okay, what if we don't have a fall or a spearhead then? What if we just do like a general attack? Because I don't want to be outnumbered. You still want to go this way, huh? Fine. Not going to worry about it so much. But I mean, if they have, you know, 23 divisions, I don't want to have 1-to-1 ratio. I want to overwhelm them. Looks like Friendly Spain has won their war. I wonder if it makes sense for us to deploy these troops now. You know what? I will. Deploy these 7 men. Throw them into... Why not you? Seems fine. Ivan Spetanov. Throw you onto the border. You guys can be the Green Army. Yeah, and you're very much dead. I can't imagine you're going to be living too much longer. So goodbye to Morocco. What are you guys doing now? Okay, well now you're at war with each other. Go to the Gibraltar Dam Zone. Yeah, because I don't think any of the people actually have any more focus trees. Like, the Spanish Civil War is kind of just the end of their decisions here. But I do think this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Anthony. If you enjoyed, remember the thumbs up. Not doing, click some down. If you want to support, subscribe, and goodbye.